Hello and welcome to this week's Rocksmith Dev Stream. I'm your host, Doug Lilly, ComDev for Rocksmith. And if you're joining us here today, you know what we've got. We've got 3 songs, at least, from Alice Cooper with this week's new DLC release, the Alice Cooper Song Pack. We're also going to have giveaways. Stick around for those. We've got a couple packs from Ernie Ball, and we're going to give away some of the song packs that I just talked about just a second ago. And if you got questions, make sure you let us know in the chat. UB Jurassic, a.k.a. Brian, is in the chat listening to you. He's going to grab those questions, send them to me, and I'll answer them if I can. Right now, we're going to take a look at those 3 new Alice Cooper songs that we just added, and we'll see you after that with some guests. And there we have it, 3 songs from the Godfather of Shock Rock, Godfather of Shock Rock. I want to run that again. Just kidding, we're live. With me here, I have 2 guests, very special guests, very special people to me. We have technical note tracker Jason Kokel.
Yes.
And hold on, I have, this is going to take me a second to get through this one. And with Jason Kokel, we have Her Majesty Super Awesome Associate Producer Extraordinaire.
Hey,
Sharon.
guys.
Hello, Sharon. How you doing?
Hi,
That took
Doug.
up most of this document that I have here. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Alice Cooper. I love Alice Cooper.
Yeah, me
Alice
too.
Cooper was like, so as a kid, I was kind of a gothy industrial kid. So this definitely influenced pretty much everything that I listened to throughout junior high and high school, at least. And then on, and he was influencing the people who I listened to from the 80s, and then in the 80s he kept doing that for people who were playing music in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of fun for me. But Alice Cooper, so you guys are doing $1 Billion Babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any? This you note track this one?
Yeah.
Cool. And I do have a question. Was this one pitch shifted?
I think it was. Yeah.
You think this
I
one
think
was?
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. It was pitch shifted.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anything? Do you have any kind of relationship to the music of Alice Cooper? This is a question for either of you.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, he was always in my purview.
Yeah.
And like you said, his influence kind of it started and it just kept continuing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certain people's careers probably wouldn't be what they were without Alice Cooper. I was familiar with this song in title, and maybe I'd heard it a couple times, but it wasn't until I dove into the note track that I became familiar with it. And it's really neat. There's some nice harmonies between the two guitar parts that are recorded. There actually were quite a bit of guitars, so we kind of pared it down to just be rhythm and lead.
Okay, we can keep an eye out for that, and we'll come back and talk about maybe what got what was. I assume they were probably overdubs.
Yeah, it's like,
We'll talk about-
overdub lead harmonies. It was
Okay.
like, okay, if that just happens once or twice, it's like,
And the bass, if I recall, the bass is pretty serious for this one too.
It moves around a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun bass line for
Alright.
sure.
Well, let's take a look. This is $1 Billion Babies with Jason Kokol and Cher Mamito. Is that slide your special move now? That you got
I'm so not gonna do this song ever again. I got like battle wounds. I have like crazy blisters from that slide, practicing that slide forever.
Yeah, but you nailed it. You guys both did great
Yeah.
on that. So yeah, the solo sections. Now, so there's like a dual solo going on there.
Yeah.
And is the other part of the solo in the rhythm path, or is that what was sort of?
Yeah, that was what was left up. No, because the rhythm just plays rhythm throughout.
Okay.
Just to be fair to rhythm players, and those couple of beats where they step on each other, it was just like, let's just keep it as one solo. It just it skips the first part of the the other solo, and just so it makes it one cohesive part.
Okay.
And there were a couple of harmonies in there, like, and it's whatever it is.
Can we try that again? Oh, we get.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. And then whatever the harmony to that is. Whatever, like, and so it's like, okay, that happens exactly twice. Like, make a lead two for it. Just
So when you consider the alternate paths, that's sort of like is it worth it to? So what? Can you run us through the sort of thought process of when you? Because it basically comes down to your discretion, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it's like I've just identified like 3 parts. That's probably really like 1% of the song, and it's like I don't necessarily feel it's worth making a whole new arrangement to capture that. Because if we did that, it's like, well, might as well then do a second alt arrangement that has the complete solo in one, and then the other one has the complete solo, so that you have both parts. And for like at that point, it's kind of overkill.
You're right.
Right. Live there's 2 guitarists, and one's going to do, they're going to just sort of stop playing their solo and play rhythm when the other,
Yeah.
So
and people were asking, of course, that you're playing again the gym,
Mm-hmm.
Ibanez Gym. Is there any more to that name? It's just the gym.
this is the Gem Junior.
Jim Junior.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the Junior.
Jim Junior. That's a good name.
Yeah.
Everything. And then this is your personal bass. Is that
No, this
right?
is
this
the office.
Okay.
Thunderbird.
Okay. People were asking about that one as well.
I have one.
You do have one. You just
at
don't
home.
bring it.
It's all white.
You have brought that one before.
I
Okay.
took it home because too many people were touching it.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. That's why I haven't brought anything in yet. I should bring some stuff in. That's okay. Let's see. Do we have? So we asked about the pitch shift, and how are you doing today? Asks Roymond.
How am I doing?
It's just anybody.
Great.
Great.
We're all doing great. This is cool. And I have a question from Matt Al. Did you play bass before you started working here?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I learned through Rocksmith.
And you played some guitar before.
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, we haven't talked about. Are you so your band
Yes.
currently? We haven't talked about your band in a while.
Okay.
What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. Maybe that's why we haven't talked.
We don't
about
really
it.
do very
check
much.
that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
we
didn't
don't-
you have a recent performance?
Yeah, actually, we in October and November,
Yeah.
we had one show each month in Oakland.
Okay.
But before that, we hadn't played for a year and a half, and that was in Tilburg, Holland. So it just depends on.
For the one in October, did you add like a reunion to the title just to sort of? I would have. I mean, just as a marketing kind of thing.
No, we did no. It was for a metal festival, and
Okay.
people were kind of just stoked to be there.
Happy
and
to
then
be there.
and then the show we did a month later, where we headlined, we just played with. I believe there were a couple local bands, and that was great too.
Cool.
It's nice when you don't play for a while, because then people will come out and see you if they like you.
Right. And what's the name of that band?
Impaled.
Impaled. I feel like I used to play them when I did radio.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I
Oh.
did. We haven't talked about that. We'll chat about
Yeah,
that
let's do it.
off the air.
Yeah.
All right. How about what do you guys say we give something away?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds great.
well,
Not this guitar.
There you have
though.
it. Not this guitar. No.
No.
It is not this guitar. What we are going to give away is an Ernie Ball prize pack. That Ernie Ball prize pack includes 2 sets of strings, one for your 6-string guitar, one for your 4-string bass. It's going to have an assortment of 12 picks from Ernie Ball. Of probably various sizes. I haven't looked at I just got some new some of the new swag from Ernie Ball. Haven't had a chance to go through and really kind of dissect it and see what's available, what's not. But I think they're usually an assortment of picks, sort of around the medium gauge, and then 3 picks from us. These are our pink Rocksmith Skullboy picks. We have a strap. You get one black guitar strap, or we still have that silver strap, which I will put on the podium here, and when we come back, you'll be able to see what that silver strap looks like. If you win this Ernie Ball prize pack and you decide you do want that silver strap, just let Brian know, UB Jurassic know when you win, and I'll put that one in the box instead of one of the black ones. And we've got a pack of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes to keep your guitar's neck, body, and strings fresh and like new. We have an Ernie Ball peg winder that's going to be in there. That will help you not retune. Well, it could help you retune, but more it's for changing your strings out. And since you're getting two new sets of strings anyway, I don't know, it seems like a good idea. So if you want a chance to win that, just listen to what UB Jurassic, aka Brian, is telling you in the chat. Make sure you are following us, because if you're not following Rocksmith on Twitch here, you're not going to be able to win. So make sure you follow us and listen to his instructions. And when you win, if you win, make sure he's going to contact you. Brian, UB Jurassic, will contact you through Whisper, and he's going to ask you for your name, full name, your shipping address, and your telephone number. Make sure you get that information to him. Otherwise, we will not be able to ship that out. Especially the phone number is very important. Shipping address, very important. Your name, very important. All three pieces of information, all very important, because that's what we need to send along. And I believe we are back. Hi, guys. With me right now, I cut that short. With me right now, I have Greg Studley, note tracker, and David Stevens, QA Czar, I think is what we're going with.
All right.
Yeah, I think it sticks for me.
Okay.
I like it.
You need a fancy name.
All right.
I mean, you're Studley.
Studley.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can't really. I was going to say title. Your name's fancy. I don't know. That's enough.
Yeah.
I think you got enough. We don't need to embellish.
You're published.
On that.
I'll take it.
Published Studley. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Roymond
good.
asked. It's not me asking. It's Roymond in the chat.
Hi,
Wants to know how
Roymond.
you're
We're
doing.
doing well.
Yeah.
I mean, I am.
Do you-
I wasn't
you're
going to
just
speak
assuming
for
how
you.
I'm doing.
Yes.
Again?
I assumed you're.
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna play?
How are you?
Oh,
More
I'm
importantly,
Yeah.
I'm doing really well.
that's excellent.
Probably shouldn't have worn the hoodie. it's starting to get warm. in
I
here.
think it's a little toasty in here.
No, it's all right. I like this hoodie, and I got a lot of gray going on. My color palette right now is mostly gray and black. It used to be all black. but
Goes
then
with
I moved-
anything.
I moved to the south, and it got really hot, so I lightened it by going to gray. So now I mostly wear gray. This is
Everything you
that's-
never needed to
yeah,
know.
yeah. This television.
Is this an
world.
encore?
It's an encore about like how Doug dresses and the decisions he makes in his wardrobe,
Yeah.
or doesn't make in the mornings. Trash is the album that this song comes from.
I thought we were still talking about your wardrobe.
Oh, is a setup and boom, swinging a hit, grand slam home run, sports references. Poison from Trash.
Yes.
This is 1970 something. 1989. I
Yeah.
was way off. This is this one's a decade and a half later than the other songs in this pack, as we were talking about earlier. Alice Cooper kind of continued to push those boundaries and influence people well into. Well, yeah, I guess he's still touring.
Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
still out there.
Yep.
Still shocking people. He's the entertainer, right?
I mean,
Like,
who doesn't
everything's-
want to go see Alice Cooper?
Right. I do. I've never seen.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever seen Alice
I
Cooper live?
wish.
No, I've not.
It's sad. I'm
It
sad
is.
for all of us.
We should fix that.
Yeah. Can we do that? Am I
Anthony?
setting us up for a surprise? Oh, look. No, just kidding. There's nobody there. That door is staying closed. So Poison, you note tracked this one? Or
I
are you
did-
covering?
I did
That's
not.
right, because we just
I'm-
did a whole thing trying to get this spot.
Yeah.
Shu.
Just
Brian
learned it.
Shu
Yeah, I think
note
Shu
tracked this
tracked
one.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I assume, did you in the past couple of hours develop any insights into this song that you want to talk about?
Yeah, riff repeater's helpful.
Yeah. You heard it here. And on the bass, because you've had a bit more time. to
The
sort of
bass is
test it.
awesome. I mean, the
All
whole
three- all
pack.
th- yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
mean, this is a bass player's pack for sure.
Yeah. There's some good, a lot of fun bass lines
Yep.
in this pack.
Yeah, a lot of moving around, a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it, shall we?
We shall.
By let's, I mean you. I'm gonna stand over here.
that's tasty.
Like my feedback?
Still going.
Oh.
Okay. That's a lot of fun. So, yeah, addition to shock, there's also a lot of glam that Alice Cooper kind of gets attached to, right?
Yes.
And this, I
He's
heard
really
people
one of a
talk
kind, you know.
Right, right.
It's more like glam. Like
There's a,
Yeah.
like glam with fake blood and
It's
lot of
it's a
props.
show.
Yeah, he's an entertainer.
I mean,
He is
there's
the entertainer.
The music is great, but there's something along with it that makes it a show rather than just a musical performance.
I mean, I
Right.
feel like we wouldn't have glam if it wasn't for Alice
Right.
Cooper.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm
And
with you on
you
that.
know, the horror themes that you see in a lot of hard rock and metal.
Which I'm for.
Absolutely.
Just in general, I think horror themes should show up in more genres. Honestly.
Like horror
Pitch me.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Why isn't
there's
that a thing?
Horrorbilly.
Horrorbilly.
No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
like that is a thing.
Oh,
Like
you got to send me
rockabilly.
some of that.
Yeah.
Sure, sure. We'll do. There's a lot of upright bass and makeup.
Well,
Okay.
prove it.
Well,
Prove it.
Yeah, it's think more acoustic Misfits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll send
Yeah.
you some.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah. We'll talk
homework.
about that later. And yeah, did you have any relationship with Alice Cooper besides like
Personally?
No, just
Oh.
like musically.
You know,
What's
so the riffs in here are actually they're pretty cool to learn.
Okay.
They're fun. They
Walk us
involve like a little bit of technical stretching, which is fun. Nothing like over the top, but
Yeah.
but they're cool riffs to play. And the chord progression in this song
There's some dramatic.
is not your typical chord progression. It modulates a lot through the chorus in a pretty fun way.
Okay.
So I mean, it's definitely a lot of power chords moving around, but they're not always moving to the same spots.
Okay.
Like sometimes you're hitting an A flat, and then it rolls back around, and you're hitting an A instead, and it jumps around in a pretty fun way.
So what do you, from the time that you've spent with it, which has been like 2 hours, 3 hours now?
Something like that.
Okay, so are you talking about like the sort of the key changes, the very
Oh, yeah.
very dramatic key changes?
Yeah, I
So-
always look. I try and find the theory embedded in the
Yeah.
in the music. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I find so interesting about when I'm playing a song.
Yeah.
And so that just jumps out because if you can write a chord progression that nobody else has come up with yet, your song will sound different.
Right.
And when you get to that spot in the song, it's like, oh, I can't think of another song that moved like that.
Right, 'cause
And
I
so
know-
it makes it stand out. It
I
makes
think
it a very cool
there's
thing.
a point where there's one of those very dramatic key changes, and then a few measures later, it just doubles down on that,
Yeah.
and you get another one, and that's a lot of fun.
It might even triple down on it.
Triple down. It does he do that?
Is
Or
it really dramatic though? I feel like it's subtle, and that's why
They-
it's special. It's like a subtle shift.
If you're not paying attention to it, you'd just be like, oh, something happened there. But I mean, if you're kind of analyzing the chord progression as you're going through, you'd be like,
Oh, playing it.
Where did
it's-
that? Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I guess I'm thinking, when you're listening, it's subtle. When you're playing, you're like, whoa, what just happened there?
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so that's something worth keeping an eye out for.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Analyze stuff when you play it. You'll
Yeah.
understand it better. I'm talking to you.
me. Well, speaking of analyzing, we'll help you improvise as well.
Oh, the solos
You
in here
tell
are
us.
great too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, very pentatonic bass, but it covers the two main positions that you're going to use your pentatonic scales.
Okay.
So very helpful to actually run. This is for D minor pentatonic in like anchor 10 and also at anchor 17 are your two
Okay.
spots. So those two scales really get outlined through the solo section.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And thank you both for joining us right now. We're going to take a look at a video. This is going to be from Audrey when she did Rocksmith Live at our 5th year anniversary. While that's going on, make sure you listen to UB Jurassic in the chat. He's going to give away some codes for this week's song pack, the Alice Cooper song pack. He's going to give those away on Steam, so make sure you listen to what he says in the chat and continue, maybe not while the raffle is going on, but just after it, continue sending him your questions. And if you are watching this maybe later than right now, if you're watching it on demand later, you can always send your questions to us on Twitter and Facebook and the forums. Twitter, we are at Rocksmith Game. Facebook, we're just facebook.com/Rocksmith. You can find us there. And then on the forums, those will be linked in the chat. Find us there, ask us your questions, and we'll try to get some of those questions from the people who can't join us live on future streams. And if it's for a specific note tracker or about a specific song, make sure you note that in your question to us. But right now, enjoy the raffle and enjoy this video, and we'll be right back with some more Alice Cooper.
My name is Audrey. I live in Nagasaki, Japan. Where I live is a countryside, so there aren't that many stores, but I like how I can play guitar and kick and shout as loud as she wants. One day my dad bought me a guitar because he wanted to learn electric guitar with Rocksmith. He tried it out and he thought that it would be cool for me. The very first song that I was kind of good at was Boys Don't Cry. gonna be on the stage for the first time. So I'm a little nervous about maybe making mistakes and stuff, but even if I do, I just want to have fun playing guitar.
Making her North American stage debut, please welcome Audrey Shida.
I want to be the best guitarist in the world, not just for me, for the audience and for the fans. Until I go all the way to there, I think I won't stop playing guitar or Rocksmith.
Ladies and gentlemen, Audrey Shida. Remember the name.
And we are back. And right now, we're going to play another song from Alice Cooper. This was, before this week, the only Alice Cooper song in the library, but it was an on-disc song from Rocksmith 2014. To play that, we're going to have the original note tracker of that song, Anthony Martinez, senior note tracker, and with him on bass, Dan Emmerich.
An unoriginal note tracker.
An unoriginal note tracker.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just so derivative. I just look at like whatever Shane did, and I take credit for that. I'm not. I'm not very original at all. So I've fake transcribed over 300 songs now.
And you're still here. You've done it. You've done it. You're a master of that.
I'm a master of not doing the note tracker job at all.
Welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Thanks.
Can I pre-answer a question that was asked in the chat earlier, which is a new viewer named Toy Machine SH asks.
Oh, welcome
to the stream.
Yes.
Yeah. Hope you like what you see.
He wanted to know why the other 3 Alice Cooper songs that are new are all E standard, and yet this song is tuned to a slightly awkward A447.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Anthony and I were just talking about that.
Were you?
Yeah.
When?
Mm-hmm. Just now.
Yeah.
Did I miss that? Was I really zoning out for that?
Yeah.
When will then be now? Soon.
How soon?
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No,
I
I mean, yeah.
I need to go home and
It's fine.
and,
No.
and
No,
take
it's-
my medicine clearly
Well,
because.
let's shut it down.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for doing.
See you later.
So
Um,
the pitch shifting on this one,
yeah. So
or the lack of.
So we were developing content for this song during the development of Rocksmith 2014, and back then we didn't have the necessary permissions to pitch shift it. So that's why this is in true tuning. And I think the cool thing about that is it sort of maintains the integrity of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a classic tune, and it's not that. Like the cent offset isn't that much.
448 is it?
It's 447, I think.
447.
So it's not too bad. But that's the reason why.
But now, usually, when we have the opportunity to pitch it to 440 or whatever we're tuning it to, we generally
try to when we can. That way, folks who play the game don't have to retune. Yeah, it makes for a smoother, gaming experience, I think.
Yeah, so people don't skip over it just because they don't want to tune up a couple cents.
Right.
On each string. I mean, that's like 2 cents a string. That's like 12 cents.
That's But
Not
it
for this
adds
song.
up over the
Yeah.
years.
It's true. It's true. You can put it in a savings account so that one day.
Rocksmith savings account. A Rocksmith CD. Thank you.
Oh, well done.
We got there.
Dad jokes.
We are doing no more Mr. Nice Guy.
That's right.
Anthony,
So I'm
resident
not going
nice
to be
guy.
nice anymore.
Oh no.
You are the nicest guy on
It
the
is.
staff. By the way, when this song
Thank
is
you.
over, can I
Thank
explain why this one's in 447? That'd be great. You are the nicest person on
Sure.
staff. You are possibly the most polite person in all of Ubisoft San Francisco. I would argue.
No, come on.
I would argue. I will argue. And you'll say,
And look
then I guess you're right, because you don't want to argue, because you're very nice.
But look at that humility. I mean,
I know, yeah.
That's just
You're
man.
embarrassing me.
He's like the most humble, and he brags about it all the time.
Oh no! Stop! Don't! I can't take any more. All right, no more. All right, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
was a lot of fun to note track. Classic riffs. Greg touched on minor pentatonic, shapes for the last tune, and they certainly show up here in the form of F sharp minor pentatonic up here in the 9th position. So you'll see a lot of riffs, pentatonic riffs played there. Also, I had forgotten about this, but when I played the lead arrangement today, I noticed that I featured some arpeggio zones, which don't really appear in a lot of the songs in Rocksmith. So they kind of look like chord panes approaching the screen, but with those fingerprint zones, and they let you know what chord shapes you're outlining when you're arpeggiating them. Excuse me. So you will see those during the bridge section, I guess, halfway through the song.
Okay.
So
We'll look out for those. I mean, we'll
yeah,
revisit
yeah,
that.
they are a blast from the past.
All right. Well, let's listen to. This is also from the $1 Billion Babies album, so it's
That is
of a
correct.
similar era. But this is No More Mr. Nice Guy, Alice Cooper from Rocksmith 2014.
And I'm hoping to get 90% on bass. I've been struggling with this all week.
I believe.
Oh, yeah. The bass does not end on the root. That's really weird to me. Like,
I love that ending.
You've got
I
little, like,
expect it to end on the A, and it ends on the what?
fifth.
The E? Yeah, the fifth.
The lower fifth, yeah.
It's like the first time I played it, I thought I was playing it wrong, and so I just sort of like my brain was just like, yeah, end it on the open A. That makes sense. And then it's like, no, you missed, and I'm like, what the hell is Blue 2 doing here? I just thought it was super interesting. It's like it's just not the way that I would have expected it to resolve.
Right,
and
right.
In the guitar, I just noticed the lead has a little bit of like it's almost like a funk little thing at the end there. It goes.
Oh yeah,
strange
kind of like the
all of a
fret
sudden,
hand mutes and everything.
Yeah, just for like the end there. The ticka, ticka.
Right, right, and it follows that same. There we are. Thank you.
Yeah.
It basically just outlines this riff again, which occurs like the second time through the chorus progression. But it loops that a couple of times and has like fret hand mutes in between, so it'll go. With that E. I love that because basically you're moving just a whole step down if you're playing the bass. You're on F sharp, and then you just. Whereas, yeah, exactly.
Now I want to know what comes next.
Yeah.
So I don't know on the album on Billion Dollar Babies. I don't know what the next song is. On
Oh,
that, so I
interesting,
wonder if
yeah.
it
Oh, if it's a
resolves.
leading thing,
If it
to
just
sort of prime you
informs
for
like
next,
the
I don't
next.
know.
'Cause,
Yeah.
Once upon a time, music was purchased
in
in
album
albums
form to be
What?
consumed.
Yeah,
Like, sometimes 8 or 9 songs in a row
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, and sometimes they would artists would write or arrange the songs in a way that one song would lead into the next in a sort of sensical manner.
Right, right.
We don't have to do that anymore.
That's a good point.
No, we
though.
don't
like,
have
I'm
to. Yeah,
curious
thank-
to know what comes after, though.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Thank
have
God
to-
we've
yeah,
lost
somebody-
all context in music. We are
somebody-
not burdened by that anymore.
Somebody let me know if that resolves in the next song, if that's the last song on the album, which seems unlikely, since it was.
Actually. Yes.
Perfect.
Oh.
Purple arpeggio windows.
Yes.
So,
those
Lyle wants to-
arpeggio zones.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
they want to know why we don't see them as much anymore on contemporary note track.
Because the team talked about this years ago and decided not to use them as much anymore because they tend to clutter the interface and it's hard to read the notes that are coming down the highway. And it'd be kind of weird to present them on levels where notes are spaced out, like, I don't know, a measure at a time, and then just get rid of them altogether when the rhythmic density increases, and then just have a fingerprint zone. So we thought it best to simplify matters and just have fingerprint-only zones so that you can see which chord shapes you're supposed to be holding, but you can also see the notes clearly coming down.
Because there's a lot of information packed into that window.
There is, yeah,
It does,
yeah.
yeah. And because that's something that I remember asking when I was community manager. That was something that I asked about, and at the time, at least, I think the answer was it depended on how much information was there, and it could be one or the other depending on if it was slower and there was lower note density, then they might still use the window. Otherwise, if it's something faster, they wouldn't.
Right.
But now, is this sort of right now? Are we kind of moving away from that just as much as possible, or is it still
definitely
a tool that we might?
It totally depends on the song because like each song presents its own, unique musical passages, right?
Yeah.
And in different situations. So it totally depends on the song. Like if. I wouldn't rule it out entirely if there's a cool way to use it, but we've just been using fingerprint-only zones to make things easier to read in game.
Okay. Yeah. And I got a question that I want to ask Dan. This is from Dice Slinger.
Hi.
Oh, I feel like this is something that you've talked about before.
Oh, good.
In a
I
sense,
love repeating myself.
In a sense, it's the question's a little bit different, but I think you can speak on this. Dice Slinger asks, I've had this question for a while now. When you play a guitar, each finger plays one fret. So on the note track, you've got the track. So your index finger is on 1, your pinky plays the notes on fret 4. On bass, the frets are wider. Should I still be trying to cover 4 frets, each finger playing 1?
Yes. First of all, always use your pinky. because there's a lot of songs that you simply cannot play correctly unless you use your pinky. I've had a lot of friends who are like, I don't like using my pinky. I'm like, yeah, but if you force yourself to do it, it's like eating like the vegetables that you don't like, but they're good for you. Like using your pinky is good for you. But yes, this is why a lot of times I see people with larger hands gravitating to bass because there's no problem to cover that span.
Right.
And I like shorter scale instruments because I have smaller hands. Tiny hands, Dan. Hi. But I will still play a full scale bass, and I will use my pinky. In fact, I was speaking with none other than Greg Studley, Esquire, today about how to more efficiently use my pinky on a song that I'll be playing on the holiday stream coming up on Monday. And while I'm not playing bass on that, it was an issue where I could not get my pinky to go as far as it needed to go. And so he's like, oh no, I see, I know exactly how to help you. So yeah, there are physical technique things that will aid you in using the pinky, but yes, you should still be trying to cover the same ground. Tell me if I'm wrong here.
No, and you can make things easier too by simply shifting up in order to use that finger, easily.
Yeah,
so
you don't have to keep your index
have to keep
anchored.
your index or your thumb anchored, where you might have them anchored initially. You can slide them up to make it easier to use your pinky. So when I play bass down here, like in the first and third positions, if I'm supposed to be fretting like octaves, like just take an F octave for example, I might use my pinky to play something that's a couple of frets over, just because it's easier for me. I like that, and I'm used to using my pinky anyway. But I don't know. There's like a little more economy of motion for me. Less stretching. So yeah, I mean, I use my pinky even if it's not a stretch. Like if it's only 2 frets away. Yeah.
I'll do that too. On bass. I think the goal is to try to keep
the
as
one to
much
one
as possible, but
yeah,
there are
right.
ways.
Right.
And I think one of our earlier encores, while it focused on guitar, I believe Brian Shu did an encore stream about exercises and warm-ups, which focused on guitar, but could probably still help a bassist.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
want
Shu's. I guess Shu's encore was what, number 2?
It was way early.
Number 2 or number 3 or something. And yeah, he goes over some of his warm-up techniques, some of his like approach to legato and really good things to learn. But he spends a good 15 minutes on warm-up exercises and how to stretch. I know you're a big fan of warming up first, and you've shown a lot of stuff here on the stream over the years of how you keep limber. Because yes, you can hurt yourself, and you should not play through the pain when it comes to anything that's going on with your hand. Some people say like, I strain my fingers, but I don't care. I got to keep playing. I'm like, no, actually, give yourself 3 or 4 days, because you can really mess yourself up for even longer if you don't take a break. But warming up will help, and Brian Shu certainly knows all the tricks to teach you how to do that.
Absolutely, it's kind of like exercise. You ease into it. You stretch before you go on a long run. And it's. If you're playing a demanding song or a song that requires you to play bar chords for like 5 minutes, it'll hurt after a while.
Yeah.
So it's good to take a break, stretch, and take your time with it.
Okay. And one more question for Dan. Why is this song in a 447?
Because in the early days, we didn't necessarily have explicit permission to be able to adjust those. So this is the true tuning as it appears on the album was in A447, a couple of cents higher. But now, generally, when we do the licensing, we try to ask for the permission. If this is a little bit off, can we just change it to E standard for the ease of your playing? And most of the time they say yes, not always. You will notice there are some songs in the modern era that the artist said, actually, we would prefer if you just do it exactly the way that we did. And we go, no problem.
Yep.
So
and that's the
thanks
same
for
thing.
asking. I was
You're
hoping
welcome.
that would come up.
Yeah. And that's also the reason that some songs might not have a rhythm part or a bass path, because the artist would rather keep it how they presented it. And when they make those decisions, we make sure to respect those decisions.
Yeah, if it's not on the recording, we didn't used to do it at all. And then over time, it became like, would you mind if we simply like copied the guitar part? If there's only one guitar part, like in Rush, there isn't necessarily a rhythm part if you consider that the lead part. So sometimes the note trackers would just put it on both. After a while, it's like, is that okay? And you still have to check that stuff with the artist too. But
Right, and we'll create nice hum and strum arrangements if you're looking to learn like the meat and potatoes of the song, and you want to play it on acoustic guitar or something.
Campfire guitar.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both very much for joining us.
Of course.
And
Thank you.
right now, thank you. Right now, we're gonna take a look at some music that, if you like this Alice Cooper song pack, you might like these songs as well. Not too long ago, we had the Motley Crue song pack. Actually, maybe was that 2015? Anybody help me? Was that 2015? 2015 was the Motley Crue song pack that has Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, Home Sweet Home, Girls, 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 and Shout at the Devil. Another very, very sort of theatrical band with lots of makeup, lots of nice costumes, which you don't necessarily, the costumes, makeup won't be note tracked, but you can imagine, and you can always dress up yourself when you play Rocksmith. We won't stop you. We don't judge. But aside from that, we have Blue Oyster Cult. Now these three songs were not singles, but they were not in the song pack with one another. These were all with other song packs. So Burner for You was in 2013's Rock Hits 80s 2 song pack with Living Color's Cult of Personality and Violent Femmes' Blister in the Sun. Godzilla came out. We released in with 2012's Rock Hits 4 with Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot and the Knack's My Sharona. And then Don't Fear the Reaper came out on the Rock Hits 60s and 70s song pack with David Bowie's Space Oddity and Heart's Barracuda. So if you like what you're hearing now, those might also be up your alley. Blue Oyster Cult kind of had some eerie, creepy music, or music that appealed to people into eerie and creepy things. And then Motley Crue, a bit more theatrical, I guess. I don't really know what Blue Oyster Cult's stage shows look like. Maybe they were theatrical. Lasers. David Seasons tells me there were lasers involved in Blue Oyster Cult. Like a lot of lasers. Laser show. This is why we need another mic. David Stevens, you need a microphone. He'll just gesture. Okay, he doesn't even type in the chat. It's fine. But right now we're gonna take a look at some more music from this current song pack. This is the Alice Cooper song pack. We're gonna take a look at the last song, "School's Out." With me, have Andrew Levin. How you doing? Do you have your mic?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, there it is. I
Yeah,
couldn't hear you for a second.
Just was off.
Okay. Andrew Levin, note tracker, and Amy Batista. How you doing?
Good.
You playing bass?
I am playing bass.
You kind of match today.
I know.
You got a
Yeah,
nice sunburst.
Watercolors.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, yeah, and your guitar. I was talking about your guitars, but I guess
Yeah,
the
that's
blue
your
shirts.
shirts.
Warriors.
Warriors. Brown.
Bay
go.
Area.
I gotta get to know all the local.
It was a good
Local
day for
musics.
sports yesterday in the Bay Area. The Sharks won, the Warriors won.
Cool.
So
Warriors always win.
not always. we had a bad stretch. We don't talk
Yeah.
about it though.
Yeah.
And you guys, is this one of your note tracks?
Yeah.
School's Out. So this was the title track from Alice Cooper's 1972 album, and as far as I know, the first kind of big hit
Mm-hmm.
of Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
So
before we were
what can
born.
you tell us about this one?
It's about when you're in school.
Yeah.
And there's the last day of school.
Yeah.
And it's out, and
Okay.
you're like, whoa, I got like time off.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I haven't had that in a while.
so I guess Alice Cooper, he at the time he's from, I think that, so Alice Cooper was originally the band name, not the guy's name.
Right.
So originally Alice
Right.
Cooper was the band, and then the guy Alice Cooper legally changed his name to Alice Cooper after, I guess, like the band kind of disbanded.
Oh,
And
so
kinda-
he was like,
Yeah,
so
he was like,
to
that's
get
the-
around any sort of like
yeah,
copyright.
I guess.
or
Yeah. But anyways,
that's smart.
Got it.
yeah, so the band Alice Cooper
Yeah.
moved, I believe they're from Phoenix,
Okay.
and they moved to LA in the late 60s, and like were really struggling. I guess Frank Zappa discovered them.
Yeah.
And Frank Zappa was like, wow, you guys are doing something really cool. But I guess they didn't do so well in LA, so they moved to Detroit, and they did really well in Detroit, and that was kind of like more their
Interesting.
vibe. And I guess that the idea behind this song was Alice Cooper said, if we can write a 3-minute song about the greatest feeling in the world, then we'll have a hit. And he was like, what's the best feeling in the world?
School's
School's out. Yeah. And so that's why they wrote this song.
Awesome.
They were trying to make it in LA and they wanted a hit. And
Greatest feeling in the world and the parents' worst nightmare.
yeah. I need to take care of you all summer.
There we go.
And, Andrew, you're playing lead on this one.
Yeah.
Emmy, you're doing bass. And we talked about earlier, this pack has no shortage of pretty intense bass lines.
No, it does not. It's like
We're running this one at 75%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
cool.
I got blisters trying to do it any higher than that. I was like, fingertips are gone.
You're not alone in that one. I think blisters abound this week.
Bass parts are pretty gnarly in all of the
Yeah.
Alice Cooper songs.
Yeah.
And I've been practicing the pinky, but it won't go.
I'll take a look at your pinky technique.
It's like, it's not that good. It's like,
I'll be judging.
Yeah,
like-
I'm gonna stand
I don't
here
think
and
I'm
judge
going to
it while
use
you're
in this
playing.
one. Like, some like fingers are like, whatever. Just get up, just play it.
One of
All
these
right.
days we got to do all pinky for a song.
Ooh.
Just
I
the
sense an
pinky
encore.
challenge.
Yeah. All right. Alice Cooper's School's Out. Those kids are all really happy.
Yeah.
So you track this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here? So
Well, another thing, I think something similar to Poison actually is a lot of modulation. which I think is pretty cool and something you don't hear a lot in pop music. And now that you necessarily call that pop music, but everybody knows the song. It's a popular,
song.
It's a popular tune. So I think I applaud them for.
I think that was when music was called pop because it was popular.
Yeah.
Not people writing music to sound like popular music.
Pop.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When it was a classification, but not necessarily a genre.
I am not sure when the genre came out. I think the
I thought
Beatles.
that kicked in the 80s for like hardcore pop.
Well, the Beatles were considered pop.
Just
But
about.
did they write pop music, or did they write music that was pop?
Someone on the web.
There's a chicken and
answer
egg
this.
situation.
Well, would you
going on right now.
call like, for example, I guess that's true because you wouldn't call like Nine Inch Nails pop,
Right.
even
but
though they were
definitely
popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Though I don't know. Pretty
Trent
Machine
Reznor might
had
have
some
a few
some
words to
pretty.
say about.
Yeah.
No, he
calling
was
his
he was in a
stuff
pop group before. He was in like an 80s synth wave, like or synth pop.
He was a huge
Yeah.
Prince fan. I
Yeah.
could just continue talking about Nine Inch Nails, but let's talk about Alice Cooper. I saw them live the other day, by the way, and I'm still like riding that. That was a great show. Anyways, yeah. So school's out, a lot of cool key changes, and again, I applaud them for being progressive. I think it's pretty cool how much different content that they packed into 3 minutes. 'Cause it's like it's not even 3 minutes long, I don't think.
Yeah.
And there's like a ton of different sections. So.
Yeah, and it starts off with like this like kind of really bluesy riff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the sort of like traditional hard rock.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
Yeah,
He
so that's
loves his slides too. Every song has a
That bass play.
slide.
No, I
I know. It's like, oh,
I think
geez.
he's probably a different bass player too than
Yeah.
because
could be- well, I don't know because $1 Billion Babies was the album that followed this one, so it's
Oh,
possible.
it probably
It was only like a year apart.
Wow, it's a big difference in terms of how it's recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably because they got all that School's Out money.
Yeah,
and they had a bigger
exactly.
budget for $1 Billion Babies. Maybe that's why they call. I don't know why they called it $1 Billion Babies. Maybe that's why.
$1 billion recording budget.
Yeah.
$1 billion budget.
Good. All right. Anything else we got for Alice Cooper?
Well, I
Yeah,
think
going through.
just in terms of other things in the song, just a lot of like jumps between playing chords and talked about pentatonic stuff.
Yeah.
It's the 70s. There's a lot of pentatonic. If you're not familiar with your pentatonic scales, definitely
Get
become familiar with
with
those
your pentatonic
because
scales.
they're everywhere. But yeah,
And you can do that with session mode.
Yes, use session mode for that. But yeah, the most challenging part of this song is just being able to, play chords down here, then jump immediately up to, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
Cool. And do you think those were recorded like that in one take, or do you think
I do actually.
had some-
It sounds like they are, and I looked at some live videos, and it looks like that's what
that's
they
how they
did.
perform?
Isn't
Okay,
his current
cool.
guitarist, she's really good. His
Yeah.
guitarist.
I forget
Yes,
her name.
who I had her name. We can find it. Somebody will say it in the chat. Nita Strauss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Pretty,
She shreds pretty
just
well.
a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's look into that. Cool.
She's got an all-instrumental album out, or like 2 years ago or a year ago, and it's just basically shredding it out. It looks great.
Nita Strauss?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're going to do, is it okay if we do one more giveaway?
Nah, man, I'm keeping it all.
Oh no! I
kidding,
really
you
want. I
can't-
really want
You're not
that,
eligible.
that rewinder, string winder thing,
Oh, yeah.
and the moisture things.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah, I can't.
can
no,
we just
I can't.
keep it?
No, unfortunately.
Dang
I
it.
can't because Ernie Ball has been extremely nice in granting us this Ernie Ball prize pack, which we are going to give away to one of you right now. That is going to include 2 sets of strings, one for 6-string guitar, one for bass. The peg winder, which Emmy wants but can't have. Well, I guess she can go buy one or convince someone to buy it for. We've got the pack of Wonder Wipes, 12 assorted picks from Ernie Ball, and 3 pink Skullboy picks from us. And we have a black Ernie Ball strap. I think we might still have the silver one available. The one that's on my podium, I don't know if it was claimed in the first Ernie Ball prize pack for this week. If it wasn't, Brian, aka UB Jurassic, can work out with you if that's still available. If that's what you want, if you just want the black, then we will give you the black strap instead. So make sure you just listen to what UB Jurassic, aka Brian, tells you in the chat if you want a chance to win that, and he will hook you up. Make sure you get us your name, your shipping address, and your phone number. We can't ship those without those, and we do ship internationally. I got a few logistical things to come up to talk about right now. In December this month, there will not be an encore stream, but we are having, as Dan brought up earlier, our holiday stream, and that is going to be on December 10th, which is a Monday, starting at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and I believe that's 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and then probably 10 UTC GMT. Brian can probably tell you. And pay attention to our social media, and that'll let you know exactly what time that's going to start. That one we're going to have, it's going to be a pretty long stream probably. We're going to have a lot of our note trackers coming on and playing some of their favorite songs from the year, whether or not they note tracked them, with some special guests. We're going to have a lot of giveaways, including a DLC mega bundle that has 31 songs, and maybe there's an amp involved, maybe there's a bass guitar involved. Check us out. We'll find out together. Well, actually, sorry, I already know. You can find out. Just follow our social media. We're on Facebook, Rocksmith on Facebook, and then Twitter. We're at Rocksmith Game. All the details about this holiday stream are coming up on those. And while you're at it, if you want to follow us on Instagram, we are at Rocksmith Game there as well. Though I don't know if we'll be talking about the holiday stream there. But yeah, check us out there. We're gonna have this month, or for this year, for 2018, we've got 2 more song packs. We're going to do 1 more next week and the week after, and then we're going to take a couple weeks off from both DLC song packs as well as the stream, and we're going to come back. Our next song pack after that will be January 8th. For the new year, January 8th is our first song pack. So yeah, hang out with us on social media, and come back Monday, then come back Thursday. And if you want to have an idea of what's coming out next week, make sure you hit up our forums. Tomorrow morning, we're going to post a clue that'll let you know maybe a little something that's coming out next week. Other than that, we'll see you Monday for the holiday stream. We'll see you Thursday for that DLC stream. And thanks for joining us. We're going to take one more look at the Alice Cooper song pack. Goodbye.